podcast because it's not generating no revenue, because they assume that the money's gonna come from YouTube or the money's gonna come, I gotta get a podcast deal. But it's like, that's how you don't make money.
Boom, it's Friday. I'm really excited about this show because I talked for years and years and years about I gotta do a podcast. It didn't happen until I met this gentleman, Brandan here.
So David was one of my clients in Podcast Profits Academy. So there's some information that they applied and some information that they have yet applied. But before he jumped in, he didn't have a pod. So we helped launch the podcast.
You say one thing that I think is really true. Attention is a new currency.
So this is kind of like what I feel like. If you can gravitate attention, if you can build a following, you can sell almost anything. And this is the thing too. You can make money on product that you don't even have.
The other thing you say is that podcasting is a cheat code, and I'm a firm believer in that, but look at right now.
Once you're in a room, in a studio, turn on the cameras, you know what can happen? Friendships can happen, business partners can happen, referrals can happen, affiliates can happen, right? Collaboration can happen.
I read somewhere, you know the stats better than me, but I think only like 90% of podcasts get to episode 4 or 8, something like that, something crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, stat don't matter, bro. The problem is this, people are thinking about, I have to invest in the show, and they don't realize that they're the value.
What's your parting words for people trying to get started in this?
So what I would say, honestly, man, is just don't overthink, just action. You gotta take action.
Boom, it's Friday. We're ending the week with a big bang. I'm really excited about this show because, guys, business, life rewards action. You got to take action. I talked for years and years and years about I got to do a podcast. I got to make a podcast happen. It didn't happen until I met this gentleman, Brandan here, who's an expert at monetizing podcasts. He's made people a lot of money. And if it weren't for him, the LFG show probably wouldn't be around. So I'm really excited to have you on the show, Brandan. It means a lot to me that we're here.
Hey, man, listen, I'm appreciative. I felt like we should probably have done this podcast in Colombia because you're always in Colombia.
We can do a part 2 in Colombia.
Definitely got to do a part 2 in Colombia, 100%, man. So I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me. And, let's get to it, bro.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's start with this. Attention, right?
Yeah.
You say one thing that I think is really true. Attention is a new currency.
100%.
Can you explain that?
Yeah. So attention is new currency. So this is kind of like what I feel like. I feel like if you don't have no money at all, but you got a phone and you got social media, which is free, and you have some value, or even now, it's important, right? You can be giving your opinion on something, right? If you can gravitate attention, if you can build a following or build an audience, you can sell almost anything. And this is the thing too. You can make money on products that you don't even have. So you don't even have to create anything. It's a multi-trillion-dollar industry that's affiliate marketing. So David can have a product. That product could already be selling, right? You can already have customers. It could be service-based, right? Or it could be physical, or it could be digital. You're gonna do all the customer service, all the fulfillment, all the delivery, right? You're gonna do the sales. All I gotta do is register as an affiliate, have the link, share it, and I can make 10, 20, 30, 70, even 80%. But as long as I could just get attention, then I can make money. So that's the main thing. I feel like with the online space, it's just so much opportunity, and it's just resistance for some people. I think they're just resisting it. But the way technology is moving and the way everyone's eyeballs is already on social media, if you're not on it, if you're not leveraging it, you're leaving a lot of money on the table.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I said this many times on this show. I travel like crazy. I do over 100 flights a year. When I'm exiting the plane, getting on the plane, everyone, the mother's online. They're on TikTok, they're on YouTube, they're on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. And it doesn't matter if they're old, black, white, Filipino, whatever. They all are on social media. And for me, I'm in lead generation, right? So that's good for me because they're clicking on ads, but they're not always clicking on the stuff I'm promoting, which is really roofing, home improvement, solar, that kind of stuff. But for other people that are doing whatever.
There's
so much opportunity.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but you just made me think. I got somebody I got to introduce you with. Because y'all are both in lead gen. He's a client of mine, and he's going on a podcast run. I think y'all are vibes, so I got to make sure I make that connection.
And talk. Look, the other thing you say is that podcasting is a cheat code, and I'm a firm believer in that. But look at right now, right? Fact. You just connect me with this person. You talk to me with another guy that does trading. We're gonna probably get him on the show because I do a lot of trading, whatnot. But the point is that really, by getting people on your podcast, you get to connect with them on a deeper level than just a regular Zoom call, right? Because you get people to tell the stories, and it's almost like it's almost like a date. There's a courting method, and then right. You said something too one time. If you try to sell someone a product, right, and you want to get in with them, you got to get through their secretary. You got to do this. You got to build up. It takes time. But if you say, hey, I'd like to get you on my podcast, they want to get that attention. We're going to get on, and then boom, that accelerates the sales curve.
You're going to leapfrog.
Exactly.
This is the thing. Imagine cold traffic, right? Let's say you don't know me, I don't know you. You're out and about, right? Let's say I just either see that you're someone I feel like I should connect with, or maybe I might have seen you online or something. I'm like, oh, there he goes in real life, right? Now, no podcast. Stranger, I come up to you, hey, what's going on? My name is Brandan. Bro, I don't know what you got going on in the next hour or so, but you know, can I take you to lunch? Can we get a coffee real quick? What you gonna say?
Oh no, I'm fucking busy, man.
That's what I'm saying. Same exact format, right? I come up and I'm like, hey, listen, bro, I got a podcast. I would love to have you come on the show, right? Share what you got going on, tell your story, and that way we can kind of get to know each other a little bit. Would you love to come on the show? I'd love to have you.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you extending that invitation is you creating reciprocity in the beginning, right? So many people want to tell their story. They want to get on a platform. They might have a product, they might have a service, right? Or they just may want just the content. You're basically giving someone an opportunity to get all of that, right? In essence, for free, right? Or in essence, you guys are collaborating or there's an exchange. But once you're in a room, in a studio, turn on the cameras, you know what can happen? Friendships can happen. Business partners can happen. Referrals can happen. Affiliates can happen, right? Collaboration can happen. Opportunities. You know, there might be a virtual opportunity. Might be an opportunity in real life. Maybe you're looking for a Rolex and I just happen to have a watch broker. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like you were talking about, you take about 100 flights a year. Maybe I got the flight pass connection that might save you some money. Like, you know, all those things happen. And the biggest thing that happens is the guard goes down, right? We're vibing for 45, 60 minutes. And it's like, there's no resistance. By the time the pause, we're pretty much friends. It's like, yo, what are you doing after? Yeah. Oh, you want to get a smoothie, right? You want to get a coffee? Oh, you got that new car? Let me go check it out, right? We're building on the relationship that's developing in real time, and the whole thing's recorded. So now we got content. Now we got segments. You got something for YouTube. I got something for YouTube, right? I'm practicing on my speaking. There's just so many things that are happening in real time. Be like, you know, I kind of like that. We're gonna have to do something together.
Yeah.
So. And then the biggest thing is the referrals, right? He's like, hey, listen, if you know anyone else that might want to come on the show, or if you know anyone else that might need some leads, or hey, listen, I'm doing an event. I would love for you to speak. There's just so much can happen from just coming on the show.
Yeah, 100%. I listen, the people knew me in the industry. I had a pretty good name, but this has taken me to a whole nother level. I'm like a walking billboard now. I used to get booths at these shows. The booths would cost $5 grand, 10 grand, sometimes 15 grand. They're giving me booths for free now because of LFG. Yeah. We got a booth, where was it, in Europe at one of these big European conferences. Free. That's like an $8,000 booth for free. They let me shoot podcasts over there. It was a win-win. We promote them, got a free booth. I got another one coming in New York pretty soon. So I've gotten 3 free booths. That's like $25,000, $30,000 value. Yeah. And then it's a reciprocity of what comes down to. And then people just know me. I don't need to get my own booths anymore, so I'm saving that money. And I'm entering the convention center. Yo, Dave, I love your show. I don't know who this guy is, but hey, by the way, I do auto insurance. I do this. And I don't do auto insurance now, but I know other people that do. I connect them. Everybody wins, but it's like it's taken me. My experience has made me a really pretty much well-known brand. Like I went from people, like half the people know me, like maybe 80% of people know me, right? So it's been pretty cool from that perspective. And then the relationships, when you've done a lot of podcasts, but you break someone's cherry, right? The first time they ever done one, I know some guys. I knew this guy in Dubai. Guy puts up stupid numbers, hundreds of thousands a day with internet marketing, man. He never did podcasts in his life. I was shocked. He was a little bit nervous, right? And you have guys who've done like 500 million in revenue. They get on the pod, they're kind of nervous, man. And so it's like an experience. You're like the first, and then you make beautiful content, repurpose it, you give it to them. They love you, man. It's a deeper connection, and it facilitates business.
The funny thing that happens is like, I don't know what it is, but when you put on a camera and you like go, people change, bro. It's like their personas, they're sweating.
Yeah.
You know, they act like a different version of themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it takes reps, you know, to get comfortable. And but I think what a lot of people don't realize, And now I'm talking to people that may actually invest in going on podcasts, right? I think what people don't realize is what's on the other side. So I'll give you an example. We just talked about all the value that you might receive overtly, right? Or in the front. But there's a lot of value in the back. What's the back? Well, you're going to be a better speaker, right? A better presenter, right? You're gonna have your 4 to 6 talking points that you're gonna have locked down that you know you're gonna deliver, right? You can make a commercial for your parking service in real time. You could deliver that commercial, right? Now, let's say podcast is done. Let's talk about redistribution. So one of the number one things that most guests don't do is they don't even rewatch the tape.
That's true.
So they're not even watching the episode that they just guested on, right? So that's number one. They don't repurpose it on YouTube. They don't make segments. So what I'm saying is, I mean, you go to Columbia a lot, right? So let's look at the podcast as like a brick of Coke, right? So you got a brick of Coke. You could break that down. You can break it into segments. Segments are short, long form videos. So you got the 60-minute podcast, but now you got maybe 4 to 5, 10 to 15-minute segments.
Yeah.
Then you could do 20 to 30 clips. That's all from one brick of content.
Yep.
Right? That might be 20 to 30 pieces of content. So the reason why people are like, oh man, I just want to go on the big shows. It's like, bro, you don't even know your message. You're not comfortable telling your message, right? You're not fluid in your conversation. You're not interesting, right? You're not delivering your message strong. You don't have a call to action. And then once you do or not do all that stuff, you're not even really using the content. Because the thing about content don't stale. The more people that know you, the more people can flow you. So if you did one podcast, that's giving you at the minimum 30 pieces of content that you can repurpose. You do that about 10 times, you got 300 pieces of content.
100%.
And if you got a couple of Instagram pages, a couple of TikToks, YouTube, you can put a nasty redistribution campaign together with your links in the bio and go crazy. People just aren't taking advantage of the full opportunity. And they're like, oh, well, that clip didn't do good. It wasn't good for me. It's like, nah, bro, you ain't work it. Like, you can get to the gym, right? And just because you went to the gym don't mean you put in the work. There's a difference. You and I could both go to the gym, and you could be going crazy, and I could be in there on my phone. And then we can both leave the gym at the same time, be like, yo, this gym session, I don't even like this gym, bro. It ain't work. You're like, bro, you ain't even worked the work. You was in the gym. You touched the dumbbell. You ain't use it, right? You did a bench press. You did one rep. Like, you ain't working. So it's the same thing could be correlated to content. People need to work the work. They got to use the content.
There's a new endeavor called Roofs in the Box. It's just, man, from day one, it's taken off.
When I first started getting into the roofing industry, what was happening was my fixed costs were always there. And so for me, I was looking at how can we kind of, one, save on these costs, and then two, how do I not lay people off during down times? But also maybe even the ability to pocket more money during the slow season or even the peak season. Since we've done this before, like with our lead gen companies where we have virtual staffing and from Argentina or Colombia, I'm like, why don't we do the same thing in the construction business? Now, once we figured it out, so we reduced their fixed cost by 70%. And so now during the downtime, they have real seasoned veteran type of players. But during the uptime, they pocket 70% of their operational costs are now going back in their pocket. And then when it's time to scale, they have the back end prepared, already ready to go to help them like lift off. Depending on what state you're in, you're averaging about 12.5% on what you pay out on taxes, insurance, FICA, all the different insurances that you have to pay out, right? So yeah, you don't have to pay out unemployment, you don't have to pay out FICA insurance, Medicare, Social Security, the things that business owners have to eat.
Roofs in the Box is not just limited to roofing or home improvement companies.
You can use it for any services, right? You can use it for IT. We use them internally for data sales, for hygiene, for analytics. It doesn't even matter what the vertical is.
It's like business in the box at the end of the day.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, man, you made me realize, and I was talking to Roger about this behind the scenes. We have so much content on it. We've done like 62 podcasts or something like that. We have so many short interviews too. I don't probably 100 something of those. And there's so many, we've had so many good ones, right? We have some ones that are so too, but the good ones, and like going back to that brick, the thing is that once you consume it, you're done. But this is the thing, when you consume that brick, you're done. But this is the thing, it lives forever. You could be sleeping and the content's working for you. It's 100%. Working 24 hours, 24/7. There's so many times I wake up in the morning, I got a DM from someone I haven't talked to in forever, an opportunity. Some of it is nonsense, but sometimes there's some real stuff. I'm like, bro, I was telling Roger, I got a guy, a media buyer for solar from an interview I did in Colombia. We did about 300,000 revenue with this guy in 3 months from a podcast interview.
Yeah.
Right. The net profit on that was probably like somewhere between 45 and 60 grand. I got to look at the numbers. But the bottom line is that off of one freaking podcast.
Now, what if you took that? What if you took? I don't know. Let's be conservative. What if you took 3 to 5% of that net revenue and you reinvested it into redistributing that podcast?
Yep.
That particular episode, because you know that joint won.
Yeah.
Or what you could do is you could look at over the past month, 2 months, 3 months, what are the clips that perform well, right? And when I say perform well, let's think about your the type of views, saves, and downloads, and shares you get. All right. So that might be 10, 20, 30, whatever it is, right? There's going to be a couple of pieces of content that obviously perform better than the rest. You could take those, put a couple dollars in those because they already perform well, right? Organically. You could throw those on shout outs. You can run those as ads. You know what I'm saying? You can run traffic against those. You could do the same thing on a long form because if it's already winning, you know it's going to win if you put a couple dollars in it, which means more people are going to see it. And the thing about podcasts is this. When people want to come on the show, then you can offer them a ticket.
Yep.
Right? Hey, listen, David, bro, podcast is going crazy. I know this person. Bro, can I come on? Yeah. $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, whatever it's gonna be. But so the movement compounds. So the more someone sees you moving, the more inertia you create for that amount of energy is gonna attract. And I think people figured about that as well.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And I was telling Roger too behind the scenes about, I have a buddy of mine who's been on my podcast, and the guy's become an expert, and he's really all in on AI, right? AI, and he's become like and he doesn't have a podcast. He should create a podcast. I'm thinking him and I teamed up on a lot of stuff. We do ColumbiaCon together. He did a webinar yesterday. Like I think 30 people paid for it, a G.
Yeah.
In 90 minutes, but it was great value.
Yeah. 30
You know,
bands,
so it just goes to show you when you position yourself, and people don't realize their brand is so freaking important. And I think one reason why I was able to accelerate with LFG is because for 7 years, I've been in this industry, good name, good reputation. LFG helped magnify that and bring it to another audience that probably didn't know who the hell I was. And all over the world, man. I mean, I'm fucking people in Russia. I see analytics. We got people in Russia watching our shit. Fucking Hungary, places I haven't heard of. I don't know, some other countries. And hey, it's funny to think about that. The people are watching that stuff while you're sleeping, man. You know,
but you know what it is?
Yeah.
It's because you're continuing to do it.
Yeah. Because
now this is the thing. There's a lot of people that stop doing a podcast because they're not generating no revenue because they assume that the money's gonna come from YouTube, right? Or the money's gonna come, I gotta get a podcast deal, right? I gotta get a deal with Barstool, or I gotta get a deal, Spotify, Apple, like one of these agencies, they gotta like pick up my show. But it's like, that's how you don't make money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like podcasters have to understand that they need products. All you gotta do is shoot your pod consistent and have a product. And if you don't have a product, we talked about the affiliate, right? So there's a 4-step framework that I always talk about, and that's digital products, a paid community, affiliate marketing, and that VIP package. So if you have those 4 things, you're gonna make money. Your podcast can make easy 4 or 5, 6 figures a month.
And they get more. The key is giving people more access, right? And that's what you do. You charge for that access. Is that what can you talk more about that?
Yeah. So the digital products is basically. So do you have digital products, David?
I don't have a digital product, and that's one thing I've been talking to Chance about. We'll talk about this offline, but yeah.
All right,
I need that, yeah.
So check this out. So, David. Well, first of all, let's be honest here. Let's give him some real backstory. So David was one of my clients in the Podcaster Profits Academy. So there's some information that they applied, and some information that they have yet applied. But before he jumped in, he didn't have a pod.
Correct.
So we helped launch the podcast, right, and giving out momentum. So the 4-step framework to monetization is number 1, digital products. So digital products is basically you're going to take whatever information you currently have, and you have a lot of information, right? So it could be literally on the basics of lead gen. You just shared that you got a love for trading, so maybe it's trading, or maybe you're learning something else. It doesn't necessarily matter, but you want to take that information, you want to put that information into an ebook. You can also take that information and put it into like a mini course, and now you have 1 to 2 products, right? Because now you have a digital product ebook. You can sell that for $27, $37, $47. One time you make it, your podcast can sell that within the episodes. You can make a mini course with the same information, it's just in videos, and you can make that a bundle. So that might be 97, 197, 297, whatever you want, right? Doesn't matter. But now you have 2 digital products. Boom. The next thing, what are people constantly asking you for, right? What's the DMs you get? What's the calls you get? What's the tug on your shirt or on your shoulder that you get? What do people want to know from you? You take that same ideology, put that into a paid community. So, hey, if you want to ask me a question, if you want to get access to X, Y, and Z, if you want to get some of the content exclusive, maybe if you're a fan of LFG and you want more access, right, when we go to Colombia or when you do these podcasts on the road or whatever the case may be, join my community. It's only $67 a month, $97 a month, $47 a month. Now you're creating recurring revenue. So my thing is this. Let's say that, you know what I mean? Let's just do some math, right? So let's just do some math. So let's say I don't know what David's monthly overhead is. How many cars do you have?
1 car now.
You got 1 car.
So one, yeah.
All right. So let's say just this 1 car plus insurance. How much is that a month?
That's probably that's a lot, bro. We're probably with cars probably like 1,500.
All right. So boom.
1,200, 1,500. Somewhere.
All right. So let's
1,500.
Okay.
Sure.
So let's say it's 1,500, right? Let's say David's monthly note on the cars alone is 1,500.
Yeah.
Let's say you have the LFG community, right? And let's be conservative. Let's say you only charging $47 a month. So we divide 47 by the 15. That means 32 people
Yeah, it's not
in the car free.
Yeah.
Car insurance free. So 32 people in a paid community. I like to attach people's idea of what's an annoying ass bill in your life. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's everything, or maybe it's the car and the insurance. Well, if you have a paid community, in your case, it's $47. That means it's only 32 people, and there's no more bill.
Yeah, if it's 199, it's 15 people. Yeah, you do the math. That's what
I'm saying.
It
Right?
comes down to the value you bring. And I know the value I'm going to bring could be, it should be 1,000 plus more than that. I don't fucking know. Like one deal can make you millions.
But yeah 100%. But then really it's the access.
Yes.
Because some people may just want more access to you. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give you an example. Let's say someone's in the community, right? And they're in the area of where we're shooting a podcast. Let's say you send out a text. Hey, y'all, all my community members, I'm shooting a live podcast at the studio right now. This is the guest. If you're in the community and you're around, pull up. Now they're behind the scenes in real time watching you do a live podcast because in the community, because of access.
Yep.
Right? Maybe like, hey, listen, we got Columbia Con, community members, tickets is this price, but the first 2 people that respond, y'all get a free ticket, everyone else is 50% off. It's like, damn, I get that access. I can't get that if I'm not inside, right? So that's your paid community. That's your recurring.
I have so many ideas right now. This is phenomenal.
You were supposed to tap in. What happened? You know what I'm saying? Number 3, right? So number 3, boom. We're talking about the affiliates.
Yeah.
So I know in the beginning there was an affiliate that was sponsoring the pod, right?
Yep. Still.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So that was just an exchange, right?
Yeah.
So with the affiliate, I'll give you guys a cool example. Let's say we're in Roger's studio, Creative Currency. I think hourly is probably what, $300-$400 hourly to rent out the space or whatever the case may be to do a podcast. So let's say Roger was like, hey, listen, we have an affiliate. So anytime you refer someone who's gonna rent out the studio, shoot a podcast, I'm gonna give you 50% or 25%, whatever it is. So you register, Roger gives you a coded link, right? So it's, let's say it's creativecurrency.com/LFG, right? And then every time that, let's say I book or someone else to book, you get 25%, you get 50%. So you get free money. And then with affiliates, you just stack them. So let's say there's people in your community that want access to payroll. So ADP, they pay out $800 to $1,000. Well, I think now it's $500 to $1,000 every time an entrepreneur signs up for payroll. So you're not taking a call. You're not doing a customer service. You're not fulfilling that order, right? You're not even selling a product. You're like, hey, listen, do you need payroll? Are you an entrepreneur? Well, look, check out ADP. So now you put a commercial in your episode, put the links in the description.
Yep.
You get free money from Roger and ADP from the affiliates. Boom. Then one of my favorites, this is one of the fastest way for entrepreneurs, one of the fastest way for podcasters to make money. And one of my boys told me over the weekend, he was like, yo, bro, I think you fucked the market up. I'm like, what you talking about? He was like, yo, because of you, everybody wants to charge to shoot a podcast. Like everyone wants to pay to have a guest on the show. Uh-huh. I'm like, word? He's like, yo, you fucked it up. Because of this strategy, the VIP package. What the VIP package does, it takes a brand new podcast, establishes their value, or takes an existing podcast, establishing their value, and you basically offer what you're doing in real time. I'll give you an example. Right now in real time, we're shooting a podcast, right? So I'm on this show, and what's going to happen? It's 45 minutes to 60 minutes of content, native content, right? Real. I'm being myself. We're being recorded. You ask me questions and prompted me to give certain answers, right? I'm going to get clips. I might get the final edit, right? Roger was shooting BTS shots, so I'm going to get some BTS. Might get some lifestyle, right? We're going to get some photos. And then you might give me an opportunity to basically give a call to action to one of my products and services.
Correct, yeah.
You give me all of that in a folder at the end and say, hey, Brandan, listen, you can upgrade to our VIP package. It's going to come with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it's only $500. Now you turn 4 episodes that you might release in a month to, let's say, conservatively, 50% people take it. $1,000. Maybe your VIP package is $2,000, right? So now what's that? That's $8,000 of revenue you can get, and maybe you convert half. It's a perfect product, and this is the thing. You can arguably sell it for whatever you want because you got the files that you're not doing nothing with anyway. You know how many podcasters are gonna have all that content and don't do nothing with it?
100%, yeah.
So if I just offer you a shirt and you want a shirt, you're probably gonna take the shirt. If it's raining outside and I got an umbrella, you're probably gonna take the umbrella. So if you have something to sell and you're like, hey, Brandan, would you like the content? More than likely, I'm going to take it because I know how to make the content work for me.
Yep.
Right? So just adding that little shift. So if you got digital products going crazy, you got a paid community going crazy, you're using the affiliates, and you got that VIP package, that's your foundation. We're not even talking about that next thing you could do on top of that, but that's your foundation. So podcasters shouldn't have any excuse to make 4 to 5 and eventually 6 figures in a month, right? Or in 6 months, or realistically in a year. I could teach a podcaster how to make 6 figures with their podcast if they just do the strategy and they work the work. And all you got to do is have an offer and then shoot your pod consistently.
Yeah, you got me.
I'm cooking.
Yeah, you're cooking right now. You really are. And the thing is that
So let me put this Alani down because they ain't sponsoring this. We cooking right now.
Yo, you are, man. You got my brain was, and I'm so glad this is recorded because we're gonna put some of the stuff into action.
Yeah.
And bro, I've been talking with Chance, and we're at the point right now. We got this thing going. I read somewhere, you know the stats better than me, but I think only like 90% of podcasts get to episode 4 or 8, something like that, something crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, right? Stat don't matter, bro.
Yeah.
Because all you got to do is execute. A lot of people get caught up in the stats like, damn, like the podcast. The problem is this. People are thinking about, I have to invest in the show. And they don't realize that they're the value. We said a few times that media is one of the most valuable. Attention is one of the most valuable things. So if you're creating a platform, right? And this platform is going to be able to put people on,
yep.
And you're going to create media in real time and then distribute that media. How you don't have value? Because your show just started.
Yeah,
it's just a mindset shift, right? So your platform should put you in position. Now it's going to come down to math, and a lot of Americans don't do math. Let's just keep it. Let's keep it 100. But if you're shooting your podcast, and let's say it costs you, let's say $1,000 a month to record, and then an extra $500 a month for, let's call that editing. Or actually, let's say $2,000. Let's say $250 across the board, and then you got your editing, $2,000. So now you should just be worried about, how can I generate $2K a month so now my podcast is free? Because I like doing this. I like sitting down. I like having conversations. I like meeting people. The content's fire. I just need to figure out how to make $2,000 a month. So if you do that, and let's say we do the digital product offer. If you got a $500 mini course, you got to sell 4 of those. You put that in one of your podcasts, that's being sold or at least shown to people 24 hours forever.
Yep.
You're going to put yourself in position. You add in the VIP package. At least, so okay, no one shoots 4 podcasts and releases 4 in a month. You're gonna shoot probably 8 or 10 or 12. Only 4 probably coming out, or maybe if released twice in a month. I mean, twice in a week, you might have 8. So the more I shoot, the more I can offer that. Right? So if you just do math, you're like, damn, I really only need to move 4 of these units, and my podcast is free. You know what I'm saying? And then we bring in what most people don't do, and that's turn their podcast into an actual media business. Once you turn it into a media business, meaning LLC, proper structure, if your credit needs to be cleaned up, you take care of that. You put yourself in position to get business credit. Now you can go get 20, 25 from like a Chase, a Bank of America, a Navy Federal, or maybe a U.S. Bank, Truist or whatever, right? You go get a bag. Now you could take that and invest in your podcast, right? Yep. Level up your cameras, maybe establish a studio, maybe establish marketing. Now you actually have something sustainable and something of substance, and now you got real value. So now at this point, I'm running the numbers up. You want to come on and show us this?
Yeah.
Right? And that's what they ain't doing.
Yeah, and so this is like really, the timing's everything. We talked about doing a pod together for like maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. It's been a long time. We just, you travel a lot, I travel. We couldn't make it happen.
Yeah.
We're here together, but
David got a family.
Yeah.
When he go to Colombia a lot.
I mean, all over the world.
I haven't been to Colombia yet, and I ain't got no family. You know what I'm saying? So it's the opposite. But yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we're always
but I travel a lot.
Yeah,
sure.
but we're always hustle. We're doing our thing. But honestly, everything's about timing. So we had to have this conversation a year ago. I probably wouldn't have been ready for it. Now I am, though. I was talking to Rob, and I think it's great that we're together now. Like God put us together to meet, to get things going. Now we're together now to accelerate. But we got the credibility, we got the credentials, right? My buddy's proof in the pudding. He had people pay to go. We did a mastermind in Colombia. We had 40 people pay to go to come to Colombia. Right. And that was like, man, I was the first one we did, the sponsors paid for it.
Yeah.
So the second one we had sponsors and we had people pay. And I was like, wow, I was a little nervous. Like, people really gonna pay to come to this shit? And especially in another country, they came no problem. We could have had double the amount. The problem we had was that we're only supposed to have 15 people in this mansion. We wound up going over capacity. We had 45, bro. Like, and so it was like limited thinking. Now I think I could fit fucking 100 people in there if I want to.
The thing is this, right?
Yeah.
We listen to what's being put out in the media. And the media also includes social media. We tend to forget that.
Yeah.
So if they're talking about recession, if they're talking about conserving, if they're talking about regressing, sometimes we feel like, oh, that's the energy. But it ain't the energy. It's just what's being fed to us, right? There's still people that got money that need your product and need your service. So it doesn't mean that we need to turn down our expectation or our marketing, or maybe not have this event or this event. Of course you want to pivot, you know what I'm saying, and do what you need to do. But case in point, you was like 15 people. Damn, if I would have marketed for 100 people, you would have got your 100. There's 100 people that exist that would have paid whatever that ticket was.
Yep.
You know? So I think we just have to, like, don't worry about the distractions, and then just focus on what we need to do, what we're working towards, and then we're gonna make it happen.
100%. And one reason why our audience is mainly affiliate marketers, people making money online, digital marketers, and I wonder why are we talking about podcasts and all this stuff. At the end of the day, a lot of these people that I talk to are very charismatic, they're engaging, they have great stories, but they're nervous to be on camera, right? And then when I break their cherry, they feel like, fuck, I can do my own podcast, I can do whatever. So I want to have you on here because, again, it comes down to action. You can think all you want. You can talk about talk. They say in New York, money talks, bullshit walks, right? Yeah. So when I saw you on Sean Kelly, and I know Sean for a long time, he's a mutual friend of ours. He's fucking killing it. I was with him 2 weeks ago. We had some event here, and man, it's like I paid what I paid, right?
Yeah.
It was an investment, but bro, it paid off for itself, right? And look, it took some time. I invested in it.
It would have been more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It would have been more, but we gonna get there. We gonna get there.
But the point is that it got the traction. I got traction going. So there's people watching this right now that if you're thinking, I want to do a podcast, fucking do it.
Yeah.
Shout out for Brandan's course. Shout out for just fucking make it happen. Talk to me because I'm proof. Now we have a positive ROI, and we have so much gold under our feet that we're not taking advantage of. And that's why I'm glad you're here now, because you're making me realize, I should be doing this. I got to be doing this. So now it's time to take action. So
think about this, right? You're proof on a couple different levels. So I don't want people to skip over what you just said. You saw me on a pod.
Yes.
Then you invested in the high ticket offer.
Correct.
So that means you, with your high ticket offer, you need to take it on a podcast so it can convert. And think about this, right? What's your metric for success? So some people might be like, okay, cool. I don't want to invest in this high ticket offer, but I want them to invest in mine. That don't even make any sense. That's delusional, right? So I'll give you an example. I have a podcast guesting agency. So if someone wants to get started on a guesting agency, it's a 5-figure investment. But I always break it down like this. What's your offer? I don't even take all clients. What's your offer? Oh yeah, my offer is 10K. All right, so you need to sell 3 of those. You don't think that with 30 pieces of content times 10 podcasts, right? 300 pieces of content just on social, just on YouTube plus social, you're not going to sell 3 things?
Yeah, you should, easily.
100%.
Yeah.
So that's really the thing, right? It's like podcasting works. You just got to work it. Who's doing podcasts? You got Hormozy, right? Ty Lopez is guesting and he's hosting, right? Bradley, right? We're talking about one of my favorites. What was Cody Sanchez?
Oh, she's amazing.
She going crazy on pods,
yeah.
right? Goggins is going crazy as a guest. If all the big dogs, right, is guesting, why do you think it ain't gonna work for you?
Yep.
This is what I tell the clients all the time. Why do you think you different? They making way more money than you, right? And they sitting down talking about what they got going on. Yeah. And then you talking about, I don't know if it's gonna work. I only want to go on this podcast. It's like, bro, I get it. You want to go on the big dogs pods too. Well, number one is if you want to go on the big dog podcast, but you don't have your value out there and your personal brand ain't at a level, you're gonna have to pay.
Yeah.
So that means you have to come with a 6-figure budget to get on those shows consistently. That's number one. So now you have to understand, okay, I'm gonna spend a quarter to hit all these big dog podcasts. Well, then do the math. That might be 10 sales. But you know what relationships you're gonna create?
100%.
If I can spend $25,000, let's say I spent $25,000 to have Alex Hormozy on my show, and I don't even know if this is a real number. Or let's say he has a pod and I go on his for $25,000. You don't think that's gonna change my business just from an aesthetic standpoint? People see me in a picture behind the scenes of the pod or content with Alex Hormozy, they're gonna want to pay you. So I think people forget about that. The brand association that's attached to you investing in your brand by way of going on someone else's podcast, plus all the content that you get, is invaluable, right? And you got an offer connected to that, it's over. Now, if you do let's say you did Andy Elliott, Bradley, Chris Williamson, Ty Lopez, let's say you did $1 million worth of game, Cam Newton, My Future Wifey, you know what I'm saying, Angela Reese, you know what I'm saying? Let's say you did all of that. You don't think, with all of that exposure from these people, that you won't do any business with them, that money just won't come to you, right? That client that's been on the fence for the past 6 months ain't ready to now give you money, and that your social equity doesn't just grow. And most of the time, you know what you're gonna get? These people's numbers, bro.
100%.
Come on, man.
You get that access that you wouldn't get normally. Yeah.
Come on. Even if you did a podcast, okay, let's say let's use somebody realistic, because it wouldn't just happen with this person. But let's say you invested in, I don't know, 25 bands. It's probably more. Let's say Grant Cardone. He's probably 6 figures to come on the show.
Yeah.
Let's say you invested 6 figures for Grant Cardone to come on your show. You don't think that wouldn't be a good look for your brand? And you don't think that now, since you develop a relationship with Grant, you can't get Grant to come do a collaboration with you? And I'm not saying for free for another bag, but now you got 2 different it's going to change the way you're perceived in the marketplace. People are afraid of that. If they don't know you, you got to make the investment. But once you get the ball rolling, they're going to, now all those different investments that you made is going to pay off, because other people are going to want you to come on their show. And then the people that have been on the fence or that want to pay you, they're going to be like, damn, he's with this person, she's with this person. Oh yeah, 100%. I'm invested, I'm paying, I'm buying. I I need to be in a room.
When I first heard of roofs in a box, I thought, no way could everything be combined in one platform, from your CRM to AI to even virtual assistant helping manage all these things together. It has completely changed my business, and I couldn't be where I'm at without it. So over the last 8 months or so, I've saved at least $1 million on what it would cost salary-wise to hire the engineer. I wouldn't have been able to do what I've done without roofs in a box, or be able to do what I am currently doing without roofs in a box. If you are looking to scale, get your business organized, or get it ready to sell, definitely want to give Roofs in a Box a call. They'll get everything tightened up, get you set up to do whatever you need to do for a fraction of the cost. Not everybody's got $1 million just laying around. Hire operations managers and have their own call center. So give Roofs in a Box a call. They'll get it taken care of.
I saw one of your podcasts. I forgot who it was with. Yeah, you have a lot of great content. Everyone follow him. He's got great content.
I was in Chicago.
Consistent as fuck.
You know, ice tub, bro. That was different.
Yeah, so that's probably what the ice tub was fucking crazy.
That was different.
I didn't understand what was going on, but you weren't your normal self, the whole normal high energy. Now, oh my God, you were on there for like, what, 15 minutes?
Listen, first off, you're talking about doing a podcast. People nervous. Imagine you nervous, but then you in the ice tub for 12 minutes. So so they hit me up because they saw me on, I think Brandan Carter podcast. They saw me somewhere. And he was like, oh, no, he saw me on Tanner's podcast. And he was like, yo, bro, I got to have you come up. So I'm like, all right, cool. Flew up to Chicago. Hour out from the airport. He has it's a house, but he has his whole basement.
Did you know that was going to happen or no?
The ice tub?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was mentally preparing. And prior to that, like I like cryotherapy, but like I've only been in the ice bath for like maybe 3 minutes max. You know what I'm saying?
Me too. Yeah.
So boom. He got it set up, and shout out to Tyler, right? And Devin. They got it set up. I mean, I'm prepared, right? I'm mentally prepared. Cause they're like, yeah, we're gonna do the beginning in the tub and then the rest on the couch. I'm like, all right, let's go. Bro, I get in there, I'm like, yo, it's cold for real. They got the little temperature in there. It's so 45 degrees, you know? I get in there, I'm like, all right, cool. We start conversing. Instantly, like my body's freezing, you know what I'm saying? So like, if you watch the podcast, the majority of the beginning, like I'm only in there maybe like.
Yeah, they told you to go
shoulders.
deeper.
I had to go deeper. But the whole time to ask me questions, I'm like, I can't be a bitch, bro. I can't, like, I gotta be, listen. So mentally, I'm like, it's kind of dope if you realize you can do this. So I slowed my heart rate down, and then I calmed my thoughts, and I just relaxed my body. And I was able to do it. We did it for like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So I went from being hella anxious to just like relax.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's freezing. You know what I'm saying? Then shout out to them, because as soon as you get off, they got the infrared sauna. So I jumped in the sauna.
Yeah.
Then we finished it on the couch.
Subtle.
But bro, that joint was different.
You know, it comes down to stepping out, getting out of your comfort zone.
Facts.
And I'll tell you what, I've spoken all the world, done a lot of speeches, right? But doing your first podcast, you get nervous. And there's times where even like my producer, Chance, he'll want me to do something. I'm not in the mood, but I'll do it just like I'll do it. And it comes out good, right? So the point is that you got to get outside your comfort zone, and that's how you're going to grow as a person, right? So again, all these media buyers watching this, start creating content. Do some fucking IG lives, do whatever. But I can't emphasize enough how much it's helped me. But going back though to that podcast, you said something which I really resonated. You were like, how it's hard to get 100 people in a room. Imagine you try to do an event and you get 100 people in there.
Yeah.
So people look at like the YouTube views, they're like, oh, you only got 100 views. Think about it. It takes just one fucking person to change your life, right? Yeah. I've got so many stories where one person has created some big opportunity. I got this crazy thing I'm involved in right now with a publicly traded company because of a speech I gave. But the point is, I thought about that. Hey, you're right. Getting 100 people in a room that's a captive audience. So it doesn't matter if it's 20 people that viewed it, 50 people, 100, 500, 1,000, just that one person, right? So can you talk more about it? 'Cause I thought that was amazing. I think people get caught up in oh, my first one only got 5 views or 10, and they're like, they want to give up. I think that's like the stupidest scarcity mindset there is to it. But let's talk about it, because I think that's massive.
I'm gonna look at you right there, right here. So listen, you got to change the metrics. You got to change the way you process information and what you feel like is the value when you go on a show, right? So imagine this. If I put you in a room, let's say you got an offer. I'll put you in a room of 40 people, and you're able to have a conversation, talk about what's going on, share how your product and service can provide that solution that actually helps people, but it's 40 people in real time, you would think that's valuable and it's recorded. And let's say you suck at sales or closing, but you do 10%. That's 4 people who bought your $5,000 offer. You just made 20 bands from 40 people. We're gonna take that same frame. We're gonna put it on a podcast, right? But before we do that, I'm gonna ask this. I'm gonna ask you, David. Once that room is empty and people leave, can you recreate that room?
Yeah. You can
With the same people? Could you?
Oh no, you can't. No,
Exactly, right? Okay, so you just closed. Let's say you want to do the same thing tomorrow with the same people. You can't recreate the room.
Right.
Okay, boom. We're gonna put this in the digital format. I'm on the podcast. We can do the exact same thing. The episode gets 40 views. That person's disappointed because they don't value the content the same way. The content's more valuable because those 40 views can continue to go up. Your call to action is digitized in digital real estate. More people keep seeing it. You can break that down. And that 40 can turn to 400, it can turn to 4,000, it can turn to 40,000. You can redistribute that across multiple platforms. So that's actually more valuable than in person.
Correct.
Right? Because you can't recreate the room, but I can grow the views on that. Right? So if people change the way they perceive what's actually valuable, then they can understand how, you know what? I'm going to just keep doing it. It ain't about what you got on this episode. It's about how many episodes have you done? How much of the content are you working? You know what I mean? Like there's someone that I follow, I think it's his last name, Jeremy. You might know Jeremy. He's a big marketer. Let me tell you his I think it's Hayes. Let me just double check real quick. His Instagram, it goes by just Jeremy. Let me see. Find it real quick. Yeah, Jeremy Hayes. So Jeremy talks about propaganda marketing. So the government uses that all the time. So propaganda marketing is basically you taking your content and you redistributing that content at volume. So if you redistribute that content at volume and you have a certain narrative or a certain campaign that you're running and people keep running into this information of you, you're the authority. You're the source. You can't do that in real life.
Yep.
Right? Unless you Tony Robbins, but to get to Tony Robbins, you got to make a lot of investment. You got to spend, let's say you wanted to turn to Tony Robbins overnight. You wanted to have 3,000, 5,000 people in a room. You probably need to invest $250,000, maybe even
probably more,
7 figures in marketing to fill it. Because why am I coming to see you? You know what I'm saying? And people just like, they want the result. They want to make $1 million in a month or $1 million or 6 months or whatever. But if it took them $250,000 to make that $1 million, that's a good exchange. If you was like, yo, Brandan, listen, come to the podcast today and I got something crazy for you. Oh, David, what you got going on? Listen, bro. If you bring me a suitcase of $250,000, I'm going to give you a suitcase of $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go get that $250,000.
Of course.
Right?
Yep.
But when it comes to like, yeah, David, I want to make $1 million. All right, cool. How much you want to invest? I just want to do organic. Okay, it can happen, but it's going to be way slower or maybe not at all. Right? So I think that's the metric. People got to understand that when I do what I do digitally or what I do on a podcast, I can get more out of it. I can work the content. I'm appreciative of those 40 people that are watching because those 40 people can share it. Like, I got 30 people. It's like you're saying, fuck those 30, 40 people, essentially, right? You can nurture those people. This room right here, yeah, it's a good feeling to be in front of people, but you can't recreate that. And that's the biggest thing. So yeah, this is definitely way more valuable. What we're doing right here is way more valuable.
Yeah, it's huge. And I want to, this is related, it might sound like I'm about to pivot, but I'm not really. Let's talk about the election, right? Presidential election.
Oh yeah.
I believe
this too.
I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I think you have a good pulse on this, that Trump would not have won the election if he didn't go on those podcasts. He went on with the Nelk Boys.
He went on 16 shows.
16 shows, and his son Barron Trump, who's like 18, 19. My understanding is that he's like, Dad, you got to get on these shows. And Trump was like, what the fuck? He didn't know who the fuck these people were.
Yeah.
He went on there. He got the eyeballs. He got the attention that Kamala didn't get or Biden didn't get. He was where they weren't 24/7, and he got the young male vote.
So this is the thing, right? He went on, I think, I have the stat, but I haven't talked about it in a while, but he went on either 13 or 16 shows. Kamala went on like 6. So the disparity of exposure is already, he went on double the amount of shows she went on, right? And there's some lessons in here. At the time that I did the stat, that I did the research, her total views at that time was like 6 million for those pods, right? He had 3 of the 13 that did over 6 million. So in those 13 to 16 shows he did, he had 3 that did more than the total that she did. I mean, he got way more exposure, but they both got exposure. So if they both doing a presidential campaign, we talked about this offline, and they're using podcasts to get eyeballs and get in front of people, why do people think it ain't gonna work for them? Right? And I feel like what she did wrong is she should just went on the same joints he went on.
100%.
He's going on those? I'm going on those.
100%, yeah.
She just went on the same joints and then just had a counter argument.
She should have gone on second, because then she would have like took his stuff.
Exactly.
Like, and that's what boggles my mind, that there's people spend how much money on lobby, and they give Michael Bloomberg gave $500 million towards Biden's campaign just so Trump wouldn't win, and that helped, right? But like, why are they putting money into stuff like this, like that? And that's where the Republicans got right. They realized that the strategy of Trump's team, they're marketers at the end of it. They're salespeople, and they got it, man.
Trump did some content at McDonald's. Remember?
I remember that, yeah,
because there was
and the problem
used to work there.
Yes.
So Trump's playing the game. He's creating memes. He's creating skits. He's going on pods. He's talking
the crypto stuff.
Stuff. He's talking like he's been a protagonist. You know what I'm saying? Like he's ruffling the feathers because he knows it's gonna get the views. And if I get the views, I'm gonna get the shares. If I get the shares, I'm gonna get the saves. If I get the saves, that means people are gonna redistribute the content.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what people 100% should be doing. In my mind, it just makes the most sense.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm glad we talked about it, because that's really, it comes down to eyeball. It's a new currency. It's a new attention, and as an individual, if you're not in that game, you're out, and you're missing out on so many opportunities. Is what it comes down to. So, why do you think people aren't doing it? What are kind of like misconceptions about podcasts? I mean, I have my thoughts, but I want to hear your thoughts. Obviously.
So, as a host or as a guest?
I mean, as both, I guess. I say more so as a host, because I think more people should be doing it. I'm proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
That I haven't been doing this long. It feels like I've been doing this for like 5 years. It's been like a year, not even a year and a half. It's probably been like 14, 15 months I've had the LFG show, right? But the point is, like,
So I think number one is they don't know how to make money from it. So if you don't know how to make money from it, they're gonna die out. So they're like, oh, I gotta get a deal. I need to get a sponsor. I need to make YouTube money. If those is the desired destination, you're not making money podcasting. You ain't. Because if you're not an influencer, if you're not a celebrity, if you don't already have cachet, if you don't got a strong personal brand, ain't nobody just giving you money. No one cares about your show because you got to develop the show. So they don't have products and services. They don't have an understanding that how they can leverage a podcast to make money. So when that's already skewed, it's only a matter of time before they're gonna quit. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. And then number two, one of the biggest misconceptions is that, oh, I don't want to go on a podcast. Oh, I don't see why this is valuable. I don't see how this could make me money from a guest perspective. But it's like, there's so many tells here. If marketers and I'll say product and service companies, even corporations, if they're spending close to $1 billion on ads inside of shows, and they're obviously spending it on the bigger shows, but they do have money for smaller shows too. That's where the attention is. Why do you think an industry where some of these biggest corporations are spending 7 figures in advertisement isn't somewhere where you need to be? You just got to figure it out. It's kind of like if we go to any of the beaches in Miami, we'd be like, yo, ain't no water in the ocean, bro. It's like, nah, we just got to dig a little ditch so the water flows our way. That's really what it is, right? You don't need to go get all of the money. if you got half a percentage of half a percentage of a half a percentage, you still making a lot of money, right?
100%.
So the money exists in the industry. They just have a misconception of how do I get the money? And then from a guesting standpoint, they don't really truly understand how to leverage the content. They don't know how to leverage it. So if I don't know how to leverage it and I'm a host and I don't know how to make money, those are the problems right there. Host is gonna burn out because they're like, damn, I want to make money. I'm getting these expenses. It don't make sense. All right, cool. And then the guests that are winning are the ones that are showing up consistently. And yeah, they're going on big shows, but they're going on small shows too. They're perfecting their messaging and they're getting it out. And they're using marketing to retarget and redistribute the content that they're creating in real time. And they're being consistent. It's what I like to call being a professional guest.
Yeah. And I got to do more of that. That's one way I'm missing the boat. I'm hosting a lot, but I'm not guessing.
You got to guess a lot. Yeah. Because as a guest, that means you're constantly getting in front of new audiences.
Yep. 100%. Yeah, and I think another reason people are self-conscious. They worry about, we're very, I don't know, judgmental society, whatever it is. Here, you see here in Miami, everyone's in shape or whatever. So I think people get self-conscious. There's been days where like, shit, I don't look that, I feel like, well, fuck, I don't care. I'm going to just come with my message, be authentic, right? So you can't be in your head is what it comes down to. I think that's a lot of people worry about that. How am I going to look? How am I going to sound? And, it's funny because after they do it, they love it. It's like, oh, that was great. It's almost like a little dopamine hit.
It's a dopamine hit for real.
That's what it is. It's pretty cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'll say one other thing too. When I was at the Sean Kelly, he had an event here 2 weeks ago, and there weren't surprisingly there weren't a lot of podcasters or camera people there. It was probably me and
I wanted to go. I was in
I feel like I see you there.
I was in LA at the time, so I didn't get a chance to make it. But he got the next one he's doing in November for F1.
Where's that going to be?
That's going to be in Vegas.
Yeah, so I'll probably be at that one. But what I was going to say is that, people will try to figure out who's who, whatever's going on. It's something when we have a lot of people, it's hard, a lot of music. It was like probably, I think he said 3,000 people. There was a lot of people. So we got like a cabana there or whatever. And then Chance, or the producer of the show, he comes with one of these bright lights. We start taking pictures and you start attracting people. It's crazy. Oh, what do you do? And then you get opportunities. I got a really good connection out of that, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
You stand out from the crowd. And at the end of the day, it's not just having a camera to get people's attention, but try to create opportunities, right? Trying to create a buzz, get that attention. And then I wound up interviewing. I'm probably the only one that interviewed Sean Kelly there.
Yeah.
We did a quick interview by the pool. We haven't aired it yet. We will, talking about his success and whatnot. But you separate yourself, you differentiate, and you create value. Now he's gonna get my audience. I get his audience. It's really a win-win at the end of the day, right? Mm-hmm. So it really, in this world, everyone's looking to distinguish, separate themselves. And you could have the greatest product in the world, but if no one knows the hell your product is, it doesn't freaking matter. You don't even need a great product. You talk about it. Yeah. You can have an okay product with phenomenal marketing, and that's better than a great product with shitty marketing.
Yep. Or no product and just use someone else's product.
Exactly.
Yeah. As long, because most people, they're gonna suffer from not having leads or not creating attention. So if you're able to do that, but you don't got a product, that gives you a lot of different opportunities. You always have a way to make money with a platform.
Yeah. Man, this has been great, man. We've been going pretty deep here. Guys, I can't emphasize enough. If you're looking to get started with content, podcasting, Brandan's your guy. He got me going. We wouldn't be where we are. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If I didn't sign up for your program, who knows where I'd be? I'd probably be at 2 episodes, if 80 episodes, right? But I invested the money, and I'm a business guy. I know if I invest, I want to get an ROI. So I'm going to make this thing work for me, right? So you pushed me, got me out of my comfort zone, and you're right. Honestly, I didn't take everything. I took what I could take at the time, but now it's time to implement a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
What's your parting words for people trying to get started in this?
So what I would say honestly, man, is just don't overthink. Just action. Just you got to take action. I would say also sometimes we get stuck in our head, and you might need to leverage someone's confidence. So like if you're watching this podcast, David said, "Hey, listen, this is what I did. This is the result I got." So it don't matter what you're not doing. Just believe what David did. So if you just believe what he did and like, you know what, I'm gonna just go off of that. You can borrow David's confidence, and then now you can execute. If we execute more and think less, we're gonna get a result. And you have to have that result and work it long enough so you can get a ROI from it. Everything works if you work it. There's no such thing if it's not working. Even if it's not working, it's working.
Yeah.
But you just gotta stick with it long enough so you can get the result that you want. And then sometimes you might do a show, but it don't turn out how you want. What's that mean? Maybe you starting the show is what's going to lead you to a business partner.
100%.
What's going to lead you to investing in a company? What's going to lead you to someone investing in you? What's going to lead you to a whole nother opportunity? But you would have never even got to the point to get that opportunity or hear about that opportunity if you wasn't 72 shows in. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we like, oh, it has to turn out this way, but you don't even know how it needs to turn out, how it's supposed to turn out. You just have to do it. And then it's going to drive you in the area that's going to be for you.
Yeah. That was great. Execute, don't overthink. I think that's huge. That's been my mantra. I throw a lot of shit against the wall. Media buyers, we throw shit against the wall, seeing what sticks. When it sticks, you double down, you triple down, you press the gas, right? So I can't emphasize enough. Thank you, man. If it weren't for you, I don't know where the hell we'd be at. I said it numerous times.
You would have started it.
We be starting this, and then we're talk offline. We're gonna press the gas. Look out for VIP LFG fucking packages.
Let's go.
A lot of good stuff going on. Appreciate you, my man. Go way to end of Friday. Start of Friday, actually. Let's fucking go. Hit up Brandan board. Get your shit going, man.
Hey, listen, and if you are a business owner or entrepreneur with a proven product or service and you want to get on more opportunities, get more stages, get in front of more people, click the link below and register to see if you're a good fit for the pod agency. Let's get it.
Do it. Don't fucking think. Just fucking do it. Let's go. Good stuff, man.
Get ready to level your shit up with the LFG show. We travel the globe to bring you heavy hitters from all walks of life. We've been talking some serious business, from the best digital marketers, government contracting experts, to top athletic and celebrity doctors. We've got it all covered. We're talking to guys who've cashed in for billions with a B. And the best thing is, we're just getting started. So hold on tight. We're about to crank it up a notch. Get ready for next level networking and masterminds within the LFG community. Scared money don't make no money or honey. Hit the subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment, and let's fucking go.